The shocking sentence in HYBE's statement has long-lasting consequences. "We are proud of our artists who remain active and contribute even without taking long breaks due to military service." One sentence, one insinuation, and one reaction from Jungkook were enough to shake the foundation of trust between BTS fans and the agency that manages them. But what caught the most attention wasn't just Jungkook's silent gesture, but the cold anger shown by Jimin. Is HYBE truly beginning to distance itself from BTS, or is there a deeper internal dynamic than what meets the eye? The statement, which seemingly aimed to appreciate active artists, was interpreted by the public as a veiled criticism of Jimin, BTS's member who is currently serving in the military and has indeed reduced promotional activities. In South Korea's entertainment industry, which is highly sensitive to image and loyalty, such remarks can never be taken lightly. ARMY, the loyal fandom of BTS, immediately responded with a wave of dissatisfaction and anger across various social media platforms. They felt that the sentence not only belittled Jimin's dedication to his country, but also reflected a disrespectful attitude from the agency toward the dedication BTS has given all this time. Even more surprising, Jungkook's reaction came swiftly and subtly, but was full of meaning. Through his Instagram stories, he simply posted the sentence, "Even when the world turns away, I will still stand with you." The post came with no name, no context, and no clarification, but the public knew exactly who was being defended. That message was like a silent bullet aimed straight at the heart of the issue. Something is wrong, and Jungkook could no longer stay silent. However, what further fueled the heat was the internal reaction from other BTS members, especially Jimin. Even while under strict military discipline, several sources revealed that Jimin felt deeply uncomfortable and disappointed by the developing narrative. He did not publicly voice protest, but tensions were beginning to show. Some internal staff mentioned that the communication atmosphere between management and the enlisted members had become more rigid and cautious. This raises a major question. Has BTS, which has always appeared solid in public, begun facing subtle fractures due to corporate pressure? Equally shocking is how this issue surfaced, just as HYBE is actively promoting new groups like TWW, DOI, and EXT DOLA to the front lines of the industry. Many observers believe HYBE is now redirecting its resources and focus to projects that offer quicker returns, while BTS, most of whose members are in military service, is slowly being sidelined. This strategy may make business sense, but emotionally, especially for ARMY, it feels like betrayal. Since its founding, BTS has not only been a financial asset for HYBE, but a symbol of dedication, hard work, and solidarity. When the agency starts making statements seen as indirect jabs at members serving their country, it not only damages the company's image, but also erodes the emotional bond built over the years with fans. Industry analysts say HYBE's move this time is a strategic blunder. Amid rising criticism, the agency has not provided any clarification or explanation. Their silence only fuels speculation that the narrative was indeed intentional. When the public demands transparency, silence can mean admission of guilt or a display of indifference. Some local media have begun digging deeper, and report after report shows this issue is more than just a linguistic misunderstanding. It's a communication crisis that reveals a rift between agency and artist. Jimin, who's always been known as calm and dedicated, is suddenly at the center of the storm. Not due to controversy, but for becoming a symbol of how an artist can be treated unfairly even after giving their all. Now, ARMY is not just demanding clarification but questioning HYBE's loyalty to BTS. If one statement can wound this deeply, what will become of the other members once they return from the military? Will they remain a priority, or merely be nostalgic symbols to boost album and merchandise sales? Jungkook, who usually keeps his composure, seems to have had enough. His post became a loud signal that patience and diplomacy have limits. He chose not to attack directly, but made it clear that he wouldn't stay silent when his brother was being slighted. And as BTS has always done, member solidarity becomes the final fortress when everyone else begins to falter. Amid this chaos, the public now waits for the next move. Will HYBE give an explanation? Will Jungkook speak again, either directly or symbolically? And most importantly, what will happen when all BTS members return from military service and face a new reality under an agency that now seems to prioritize profit over loyalty? One thing is clear. This issue has reopened old wounds about tensions between artists and their agencies. No matter how big their names are, idols can still become victims of narratives created by institutions that are supposed to protect them. ARMY, in their anger and disappointment, now serve as both witness and reminder that BTS doesn't belong solely to the company. They belong to the public, to a generation, and to the hearts of millions around the world. Nevertheless, in observing and dissecting events like this, wrapped in dramatic narrative, deep emotions, and powerful symbolism, we must ask one fundamental question. Did all this really happen? Or are we witnessing a carefully constructed piece of information designed to sway public opinion and steer collective emotion? Viral phenomena like this often become mass consumption on social media, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, even some online news portals, spreading rapidly without thorough verification. We're often tempted to immediately believe what we see or hear, especially when it's packaged in compelling visuals and delivered with a tone of concern. But are we truly witnessing reality? Or are we being deceived by a narrative construction meant to create the illusion of truth? Questions like these are critical to ask, especially when the circulating information contains high emotionality and touches our human side. Why did this moment suddenly go viral? Who first shared it? Is there a hidden motive behind the spread of this information? Are we being led to believe something that doesn't actually have a solid factual basis? It's important to note that most of the information we present comes from open and unofficial sources, such as short videos on TikTok, Twitter, now X, posts, YouTube clips with speculative narration, and snippets from entertainment media that may not have undergone proper journalistic curation. Therefore, under these conditions, the public must be equipped with reflective awareness and methodological skepticism. Why is skepticism important? Because in today's flood of information, the line between fact and fiction is becoming increasingly blurred. We're faced with information that's not only confusing but also shapes collective perception based on emotion, not evidence. Are you sure that every scene shown is authentic? Or is it possible that some moments have been staged or selectively chosen to steer your opinion? Let's reflect together. If this event truly happened as reported, there would surely be clear evidence, such as official reports from relevant institutions, confirmation from the agency, or direct statements from the individuals involved. But until now, all we've seen are video fragments, narrative interpretations from content uploaders, and emotional reactions from the public without any verification basis. Doesn't that raise big questions about the validity of the information? Furthermore, we need to question the motives of the media or individuals spreading such content. Do they genuinely aim to inform the public? Or are there other motives, like chasing popularity, increasing social media traffic, or even creating sensation for economic or political gain? This phenomenon shows that media is no longer just a news messenger, but also an active actor in shaping emotional and controversial social narratives. That in this context, we must also consider the impact of spreading unverified information. If the information turns out to be false, it's not only media credibility at stake, but also the reputation of the public figures involved and the public's trust in the institutions concerned. Are we prepared to bear that risk? We must ask ourselves, why are we so easily persuaded? Why do we tend to take the side of sympathizers without checking the truth behind the story? Is it because we're tired of reality and want to believe in something that touches the heart, even without evidence? This is where the importance of media literacy and information literacy education comes in. Every individual must be able to sift and analyze information, not just from the content, but also from the source, context, and interest behind it. We can no longer be passive consumers who simply receive and share information impulsively. Let's use this moment as a collective reflection. We all have a moral responsibility not to spread information whose truth is unclear. We also have the right to question, doubt, and seek clarity on every piece of news we encounter. With all humility, we invite you readers, viewers, and truth seekers, not just to be narrative consumers, but critical observers who ask, is this real or just fiction? Is this truth or a hoax veiled in drama? Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, do I really know what I believe in? Or am I just following the emotional current without deep reflection? Remember, in every piece of information we receive, there are always two sides, the visible side and the hidden side. Don't be enchanted by only what's visible. Dig deeper. Question harder, because only by doing so can we become smart.